All right, welcome to 3D Sculpt and Chill. My name is Dave Reed, aka Drug Free Dave. You might hear some explosions happening because it is the 4th of July and there's inconsiderate people, lighting fireworks even though it's almost midnight. But we are drawing hands. We're not drawing hands, we're sculpting hands. I always think of it as drawing for some reason. But anyway, so I'm getting better at hands. Here I'm using the tube tool. I use the tube to make the 3 sections of the fingers, and now I'm just sort of curving them. You can see I just make one tube tool with like a general shape, and then I clone it and I swing it over and I change the sizes so that obviously the pinky is smaller and the 2 middle fingers are a little bit longer, things like that. So I wanted to practice just having the fingers not straight out, just sort of bent. Here we have the thumb, which is very difficult because it's sort of like a weird drumstick with like a flat pad. So I always think of the ends of the fingers are sort of flat. Obviously this is like a tube, so it's like a cylinder now. But that's how I sort of think of it. It's like you have the end of like a drumstick that goes into the palm, and then you have the thumb that comes off from the bottom level of the hand, So I'm always thinking of anatomy. I look at artwork, when I draw hands, like that's how I sort of think of it. Here I look at my own hands to see where the skin goes and how the skin sort of wraps around your thumb and from different angles and things like that. Here I'm using the flatten tool. So I flatten until I get the shape I need, more of a flat finger on the bottom and like a flat shape on the bottom. And then I use smooth to smooth it all out. But as you can see, I just use flatten and I do all the flattening first. Sometimes I'll do things in layers. Like now I'm going through all of the fingers, flattening them out until they are, how I like them, until they're generally pretty good. And I think I don't really have a high density. The clay is not a very high density right now. So you can see it's very easily flattened. Here I'm just using the clay in Subtract to just kind of carve out these sections of the fingers just to give it a little more accuracy. And just like stylistically, like when I smooth it out, I want to have these like creases here to sort of act, here comes another one. Oh, I thought I heard some more fireworks. But now I'm doing the knuckles. So I just do spheres that are sort of stretched, and I do that. I don't know, I want it to be cartoony, but I also want it to be sort of realistic. And this is more just practice for a hand, so that's why it's super I'm trying to go super realistic, still stylized, but still realistic, just trying to pay attention to all the rules of the fingers and hands. Putting the little bend in the last section of the fingers, which I think makes it, all these little subtle details make a big difference. This is the bones. What are they called? Metatarsals? Tarsals? I can't remember which ones are toes and which ones are fingers. Phalanges. I don't know. Gotta go back to science class, anatomy class. Nails. Here I'm using the crease tool, and you can see I've sort of made the clay a bit denser. So I did subdivide it after I did all my smoothing and things like that. So I subdivided so it's very dense. That way the crease tool is very clear and crisp, and I can do a lot of these details like the fingernails. And later on we'll just color the fingernails in. And now I'm just changing the color to like sort of like a flesh tone and some redness on the fingertips. Just like with the face, just like with the color banding, the redness on the nose and the cheeks. The fingers also have that. I think the elbows, ears have that. So you do it on a layer. So I'm on my hand, but I'm doing it on a new layer. That way you can control the opacity of the layer. So I can just do the red, make it look pretty good. Obviously it looks very red now, but then I change the opacity and I lower it. You can see it's a more natural color now because I lowered the opacity. And here I'm using the crease tool to just add in extra details because I can't get enough details. As you already know, I'm like a stickler for details. Coloring in the fingernails, and this is also a new layer. Sometimes I use multiple layers. This is a new layer, so I can color it in. You can see it has the little gloss because it's a different texture than the skin, so it's a little more glossy. And I'll be able to turn this layer down as well, just to be able to get it a little more natural, so it's not like So it's not like the hand has a nail polish on per se. I just want it to be a more natural, normal nail. So there we go. We'll just scale that down a little bit until it's a more neutral sort of color and texture. And here, adding this, I have calluses on my hands, so I had to give this hand a little bit of, a little bit of wear. And I think it looks pretty good. I think going forward, I'm gonna use the tube. I'm gonna use tubes. I think it looks pretty good. I love lighting, as you can see. I make a light. I like to do those the rim lights. So I have a yellow rim light on the left. This bottom rim light. These are all directionals too. I'm gonna make white. So we have sort of a color bounce, a nice rim light from the bottom, but from behind. And now I'm just changing the focal length to sort of make it look a little more like it's coming at you, like towards camera. And then you turn on post-production, and I love it. Like, I think it's incredible how you can just slowly make anything you want pretty much with this app. I think it's fantastic. I'm really happy how the hand came out, and I'm gonna be doing hands this way. It was good to learn on the boxes, but I'm gonna be doing hands this way. All right, keep drawing, keep sculpting. I will catch you all in the next video. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome. This is the speed run through of my latest Skillshare course, which I actually had a lot of fun with. I never really thought about doing interior design stuff, but I just wanted to make like one of those little scenes. I've always seen these cute little scenes made in 3D, and I've always wanted to try it out and wanted to do it. So I thought that I would work it out and figure it out and make a class because it's actually creating a lot of small, simple things. So it's actually really good for beginners because you're just using the shapes to make, these simple objects that are in a room. Everything is fairly simple, but it's just, I don't know, I had a lot of fun making it and making the room, and I'm definitely going to make more of them. And especially because since I do a lot of characters, it'd be just cool to give them an environment, to give them a nice little interior. So I'm definitely going to use this one. I want to make the perfect character to sort of go in this space. But a lot of using the lathe tool, and just it's been one of my most fun classes, which is really unexpected because I never expected to be into sort of interior design in 3D, but it's fun. And especially the lighting and stuff like that, like lighting a room, for some reason it's just so satisfying once you start coloring things and lighting things. It's really, really fun. And you can see the legs for the table and the legs for the bench. Those are like a nod to my fiance, because she likes her brushed, sort of gold, sort of brass brushed metal things. And I just love neon. Like, I love neon lights and stuff like that. So of course I had to throw all of my 3D sculpts. I always have some element that is like a light glowing, even if it doesn't belong there. I just feel like you just need to have something glowing. And also at the end of this, I do some different scenes with like different lighting. Like, you can really change the mood just by adjusting some lights. And that's actually one of the most fun things to do for me, is like change the color of the neon light. And so here we go. Here we have the actual scene. So if you take the class, you'll be able to make this exact scene, but you can also put whatever you want inside of it. You can make different like wall art and things like that. Here we have like the Southwest like night scene. But just so much fun. I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and I hope to see you all in class on Skillshare. The link is in the description.